All right, so here is your Maryland blue crab. It's not blue because it's been steamed. So the first thing you want to do, they'll probably give you a knife like this, and that's functional. But I usually use this. Works a little bit better. So first you remove this part. That's actually the crab's reproductive organs. So you peel that off, move it out of the way. My 5-year-old wants to help. So then you open it up like this and you get all the stuff out of the middle, all of it. Bunch of nonsense in there. So after you remove that and move this stuff out of the way, these are its lungs. People call them dead man's fingers. They won't kill you, but if you ate a bunch of them, it would make you pretty sick. So you keep putting all your trash in the bucket. You don't need any of that. Got the dead man's fingers almost off. And usually at this point, I break it in half. Then you have 2 halves of a crab, and you can get rid of all the random outlier stuff. So you end up with this. Now, I take it off one at a time so that I can get the meat that's on each leg inside the caverns. It's the easiest way to do it. Then you end up with the meat from each cavern. I put it in vinegar. Some people actually like butter. Depends on where you're from and how you were raised. I really like vinegar. So then you have the caverns. You just basically pick out each one with your fingers and take the meat out of each one. That part, there's about 15 different ways to do it. Usually this one, the back fin, the one with the flipper on it, if you just go around the edge of it like this, you can pull that entire back fin out and it's one big lump piece of meat. When crab meat is sold, they actually sell just back fins separately. So you end up with one big thing like this that you can just either eat, or in my case, I put it in the vinegar like this to soak along with the other meat. In that apple cider vinegar, my wife put a little bit of Old Bay, because then that makes it taste even more Old Bay and awesome. So each one I take out and I do like that. These other smaller legs, there's not enough meat in these to make it worth your while, so you don't even really bother with them. Then take the meat for all of these. I'm only going to pick one side and then pick one claw so you can see how to pick the claw.
Stuff here.
Got one more cavern to pick here, and I'll have this whole side of the crab picked. You can get a pretty good amount of meat out of these. I usually just take my fingers and run them through the caverns, and then you end up with this kind of piece of meat from each one. Now, this, you want to take it so it bends this way and lay it down. Now, I take this knife, clean it off, and take this knife and put it right across the top. Then I just hit it lightly to crack it a little bit, and then I crack this part open. And usually that comes out all in one piece. And here my son, he really, really wants this piece. I'm gonna let him bite it. You bite it like this, and then pull it with your teeth, because there's a cartilage in between. Here, Jace, eat that and then hand it back to me, please. I want to show them how that works. This one, you can just break the top and then pull it out. In that case, it didn't come out. So now, I can't turn the camera that way right now, Jace. Please hand that back.
No, here, just give it.
But if you cut across the middle of the bottom part of the claw, then this piece of meat usually comes out pretty well. If it gets stuck a little bit, then you use the knife and you help it out. Like that. Jace just gave me back the claw. So after you've taken the meat, he didn't get all the way down, but if you take it like this, you hold this part. Cute parlor trick for the friends and the kids and whomever. And usually I take it and go, ah!
Or in your nose hole.
Sometimes I put it in my nose holes, as Jace liked to point out. But you pick this half of the crab exactly the same, and you will end up with a whole lot of tasty crab meat. So good luck and happy picking.